outlet. Excited today to bring a guest, a woman who's been doing her thing for many years and who's continuing to push the needle forward for many women out there, Candace Mackey.
Hi.
What's going on? What's going on? Appreciate you coming through. Man, this is a great guest to have. She's not only a business owner of Candy Smacks, I would say Candy Smacks. It's a lip gloss brand, but she's also a singer and a songwriter. So we're going to dive into all of those aspects of her career, but let's dive into the early stages. So what got you into, what inspired you to be an entrepreneur?
From a young age, actually, I want to say like around the time where I was like in grade school when I decided to be a musician, I also wanted to succeed in business because I can't even say mentors because I don't personally know them, but the people I looked up to was like Jay-Z and P. Diddy.
Yeah, I see you're a big fan of Mary J. Blige too.
And Mary J. Blige. Well, she's more of a musical influence.
Okay.
Business aspect, I always saw myself as a female Jay and a female Diddy because they were just like from the area, from the hood, from New York, and they were big door pushers, you could say. So,
yeah, they started, I feel like they really pushed the needle forward in terms of black entrepreneurship. And I think we were the first, I would say millennials was like the first generation to really to see like black men that are succeeding at a high level, not only through their music, but through their business ventures as well.
Right.
But yeah, so you started off with that, and I saw that you got into being to the music side because of you listen to the game or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw it. So tell me about that story. How did that feel?
So basically, the real story, because I've had a few interviews and it was kind of twisted up.
Kind of twisted, yeah.
The real organic story was so my mom was playing the Game album and. Literally, I think I came home from school one day and I'm like, listen, everybody's always coming to New York with their, big eyes and bushy tails looking for a entrance into the music business or actors and actresses industry. And so I said, you know what, why not take up that opportunity? Let me figure it out myself. So I literally looked at the back of the album. You know how old albums used to have the addresses
and contact people and all that.
Right. So I literally just Googled it was called Czar Entertainment. So I Googled it and the number popped up and I just called it. I just had enough guts at the age of 14, 15 years old. I just called and said, listen, I would like to pursue music. What do I need to do to get my foot in the door as an intern? Yeah.
And that's ambition right there.
Yeah.
At 14, for me at 14, I wasn't thinking about looking at the label. I love the artists, I love the game, I love everybody that was doing their thing, but I didn't have that mind state at 14. I mean, I was probably thinking more small, like I was bagging up groceries and shit, trying to make my little spare change. But that's huge though. Like to go out and nobody told you that. You just said I'm gonna do this.
Well, prior to me getting into high school, I was also auditioning for these high schools, because I wasn't just auditioning for the Kermit High School, which was Frank Sinatra School of Arts. I was also auditioning for LaGuardia, Professional Performing Arts.
Okay, these are all entertaining.
Right. So, and because my passion was always known as music, my parents and my friends always surrounded me around musicians or somebody that was kind of big in the game. So they would always say, like back then when the music industry was just like trying to get your foot in a record label, they will always say like you got to start from an internship and things like that. So I said, you know what, I need to figure it out, like how to get myself in the door.
Internship is the way. Like even going to college, I learned like the grades. They say grades matter. I think if you're going for like be a doctor, a lawyer, any of those professions, I think grades do matter. But I think in terms of being communications, PR, anything business-wise, is really about getting yourself in those rooms. And I think internships is the best way to do it.
It is. And people really sleep on it because once I did make that call and I'm going to speed it up. I kind of auditioned because the guy at the time, he told me to like freestyle sing off of a beat.
Okay.
And I like made up a song in my head when he played a beat, and he was like, all right, come tomorrow at this time after school. And I would go there, and at the time he was managing the game. They were managing Gorilla Black, Mario Winans, and I literally thought that I would start my internship and then just be in the studio all day.
Gotcha.
I was the coffee girl.
That's what I'm telling you.
But I would stay there late nights till like midnight, and my mom would be like, "Where the hell are you at? It's late, you're young." And I would just tell her like, "Mom, I had to do this, and it was a struggle, but I learned a lot, especially from recording to how it really is. Because, you know, all you see on TV is the glitz and the glamour.
Yeah, you don't see the behind the scenes.
No, so a lot of artists be struggling. They come in sometimes drugged up. So I seen it and I was just like, what the hell is going on? Like,
industry,
you know, the stress, the labor. So I kind of actually prepped myself for what I'm going to do or what I have to do to get into music.
Gotcha.
So I knew, like, I had to step my game up marketing. I knew I had to make sure I looked the part. I knew I had to make sure my vocals was intact.
Yeah, your vocals is amazing. Like, if y'all didn't check out the newest song out, Day and Night,
Yes.
that music video is fire. Great quality content. How'd you come up with that whole idea? How'd you come up with the song, and how did you come up with the video concept? Because I got like a real 2000s vibe, but also like an up tempo. I feel like, cause you got a rap on there too. What's his name?
Right, his name is IVL from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Oh, wow, in Brooklyn. Yeah. So I feel like I did that thing on that track. So how do you come about that?
Well, a lot of my when people listen to my music, you tend to hear the throwback 90s era mixed with an uptune of today's generation.
Gotcha.
So in my era, I love the what can I say, the beatbox, the 80s, those type of beats.
Gotcha.
I can't even think of what it was called back then, but it was called a certain style. And so ISIS was the original group, Day and Night, featuring Jadakiss. And a lot of people would hear my music and say, yo, you have to do the remix to that.
Okay.
Even the rapper that's featured on the songs was like, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. So I was like, well, since you want me to do it, then jump on the track.
Yeah.
So we literally, I sat down with my producer and I'm like, this gotta be the concept and this kind of the sound I'm going for. And it took him like literally 2 seconds to come up with it. And the video, I wanted to kind of pan out to, like, my music is like women empowerment, so I just didn't want to paint myself in a negative light as far as like chasing a guy.
Gotcha.
The original video is more so like a girl in a relationship chasing a guy. So I wanted to reverse that to where it's the guy chasing me.
Chasing you.
So, and the song is actually about it too. It's exactly, the video is exactly how the song is. So.
Gotcha.
That's kind of where I got the concept from, and the style, and the videographer helped me put it to life.
You did a great job, especially during like COVID, having to be able to create a video like that.
That was a challenge.
Yeah, like I see I was in a restaurant, I saw different. I was in a park, so to create those scenes during COVID, I'm sure it was a lot to.
It was. We did it. It took us 2 weeks.
2 weeks to shoot. That's a lot of work.
I was like, when are we gonna be done?
Nah, but y'all need to go check out Day and Night video. I'm gonna drop it the same day on my podcast. Drop it on my social the same day as the podcast, so check it out. And I know that you already mentioned that you already get like a lot of your inspiration from like the early 2000s.
Yes.
And Mary J. Blige is one of your idols in terms of music. So what about Mary J. Blige inspires you to do what you're doing?
Well, she's a Capricorn like me.
Okay, shout out to Capricorns out there.
But I just like the realness, the authenticity, her pain, because we girls, we go through so much. And Mary, I feel like she does not sugarcoat her pain. And it's just, again, the sound of the music, the melodies, like everything is just, like I always say, like the root word of music is muse. When you listen to music, it's meant to be felt and inspired. So I felt like I got that from Mary, like even from the right. Shout out to her. But it's literally like somebody took the time to listen to real good music and use their samples and put it together to create something of a Mary sound. Like it's just so deep.
I understand. Nah, she definitely has a lot of hits. One of my favorite songs is with her and Method Man. I forgot the name of it.
You're All I Need?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs. I mean, Method Man is one of my favorite artists, but with her and that collaboration, that's one of my favorite songs right there.
That whole album, what's the 411?
So in terms of being a songwriter and an R&B artist, what do you like doing more? Just writing the song portion or actually performing?
Performing.
You like performing?
Yeah. Yeah, because I hate the process that it takes when it comes to writing the song. although it could be fun at times, but actually once it's done and you feel confident in the song, the performance part is like, yeah, now I want to get my message through, like,
because you can actually bring it out to the show, like, this is
and then it's your own style, it's you, so it's like, yeah, I know you heard that, but when you hit this, you're gonna feel different.
No, I feel it. So I know with COVID and everything, the performances have been on hold.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to getting back on that stage?
Absolutely,
especially
absolutely.
with new songs and everything?
Yeah, I only had like one performance
Before
last
COVID.
year, prior to COVID,
Got you.
which was cool. It gave me, got my feet a little wet, but I'm definitely looking to a lot more performances. Like I look at Beyonce's because she's a good stage performer. I look at a few other artists. It's very few that are good on stage. So I studied that, and that's why I'm trying to slim down.
Trying to get someone 21.
Yeah, so I can hit that stage and boom, pow.
I think it's definitely gonna happen soon. I mean, the vaccines are getting distributed. I hopefully herd immunity comes soon. I'm tired of being stuck in the house.
Yeah.
I think we've had one of the worst winters in New York since I think I can remember.
You think this was the worst?
It's been snowing nonstop like a month. Like,
I haven't noticed because
Yeah.
I'll be inside the house.
Well, it's been snowing nonstop for like a month or a month or some change. Even in Texas, Texas is going through.
Oh yeah.
That's
Crazy.
Yeah, so
They were not prepared.
They were not prepared, and I just can't wait till things go back to normal, just so people can interact. So networking wise, since you're a musician and you have your own brand, beauty brand, Candace Mackey,
right.
how have you been able to network in times like this?
Well, I want to be honest. I struggled. Like I was scared. I had to really I had to read and tap into myself and really try to pray on things, because when I started it, I thought that as soon as I put the work in and launched it, that I was just going to be sold out immediately.
Got you.
Although I was, it still took some time for it to pick up, and I had to realize too that your friends are not going to be your biggest supporters. I had to be okay with that.
Crazy.
Like I had to make friends with that. I had to tell other girls, because I was speaking on little panels here and there on Clubhouse.
Yeah, Clubhouse. I know you. Thank you for the invitation. Everybody in the Clubhouse, put me in that. It's great networking tool, especially because we're locked inside. It's a way for people to network and express what they do on the side.
So I had to express that, and then slowly, behold, my family, extended friends was buying it. Other people, it was just really a marketing thing for me. I had to make sure that it was something that everybody could relate to, something that I could pitch that was realistic, and something that wasn't overly glamorized. I just wanted to be something that was cute, put it on and go out.
Nah, that's the way to go. And I mean, in terms of being since you're an entrepreneur with so many talents, what is a normal day like for you? What is a typical Monday through Friday, even the weekends? What is your schedule entail?
Oh wow, I just got it together. So
it's hard, time management is,
it is.
One of the things you have to try to master.
So now that I have it together, I wake up around 9ish in the morning, and I would meditate.
Go, that's good meditation. Get your mind right, mind and body right.
So I meditate, I work out, while I'm working out, I'll either listen to music or listen to a podcast or some sort.
I'm sorry to cut you off. What is some of your podcasts that you go to?
I listen to Black Girl Pod.
Oh, word? Okay, check it out, Black Girl Pod.
Those are my girls in my head. I only know one girl, but those are my girls in my head, and they be, talking about different topics that are relatable, and so I just love listening to them, and it's positive. You want to start the day off.
Yeah, in a positive mindset.
Right.
That's the way to go.
I'm also a big advocate for mental therapy, so my therapist told me to practice putting up your affirmations on the wall. Yeah. So I'll post them on the wall and I'll say them out loud to myself.
Yeah, that's
I'll take them down.
No, that's good. That's good. I think a lot of people think, I think even a lot of people are misleading when they see people really writing down their goals and putting stickies up. I think that's important, because if it's a reminder to yourself every time you see that, it's all right, what am I doing here? What am I doing? It's always
that,
a constant
as
reminder.
well as creating a vision board.
I've heard about vision boards. I've never done one myself, but I've heard that's another great way.
You should do like a big vision board of what you want to see yourself from now and maybe like the next year. Just clog it all up with everything you want to manifest.
That's great. All my listeners looking to doing vision boards. I might have to do one myself. I'm still like my last guest I had on here. She's big on vegan, and she's an influencer as well. And I was just like, "How did you go vegan?" She said it's overnight. And I'm like,
overnight?
Yeah, she said she saw a video with chickens.
I mean, sometimes it does it. It
does that too. But in terms of just jumping into it, it's hard. Just to flip on and switch.
Yeah, I'm in the process of trying to wean myself off of like dairy. I think I'm pretty good off dairy.
Yeah, dairy's terrible for people. Like, I try.
Sugar
I love my ice cream in there, but dairy's bad. Like everybody knows it's bad for your body. If you don't know, you know it now. It's not something you should be consuming.
It's not.
Your body as an adult can't even break down milk.
No.
That's just what.
So now, I substitute that for like. Almond milk.
Soy milk. It's
well, soy milk's not too good for women, but you can have that.
Yeah, I'm a soy milk consumer. I didn't know.
But like oat milk, I love oat milk. Yeah.
Okay, that's another one I heard about oat milk.
Oat milk is really, really good.
Gotcha.
Especially when you get like a good cereal.
I never had oat milk, but I gotta give it a try. So taking a step back from the music, getting into your lip gloss brand, Candace Mackey. So starting a beauty brand for women. You started with lip gloss. What made you come up with this brand, and how's it going for you so far?
Well, my niche or my thing that I've been known for, like accessory wise, I've always carried something that had lips on it. I even had it tatted on me. Like it's girly, it's me, it's my thing. So a friend of mine was like, "Why don't you just come up with like a lip gloss? Since you always talking about lips all the time." And I'm like, eventually. I don't know when I'll come to it.
Little mama inspired the lip gloss.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get it from her. Definitely not her. Shout outs to her. But it was just something that I always loved. Like, so I said, you know what? Let me dig into my memory bag and be creative and come up with that idea. Yeah. And a lot of things that I see, people come up with is, these lip glosses with tints and stuff like that. And so what made mine different is I wanted it to be really, really simple to where everybody can wear it and feel cute and feel sexy.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like that. I see like five, I think. Lip gloss.
I'm actually in the midst of launching 2 more collections.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Two more different variations of lip gloss. Okay.
Yeah. So anything that involves lips, so lipstick, lip glosses, lip balms, anything catering to the lips, that's gonna be my lane.
That's gonna be your lane. So you're gonna stick to your lane. I was gonna ask you
I'm not gonna put any ideas or any things out yet. When it comes, you'll see.
Yeah.
But I do see it getting bigger. That's why. How I'm launching it, I'm really like
strategically planning.
Right.
Got you. I mean, that's the way to go about it. Like everything's a process. I think one thing entrepreneurs should understand is that you may have all these ideas and you may want to do them all at once, but if you're trying to allocate all these ideas, trying to do all these things, you may not be able to allocate the right time to that one idea to make it blow up the way you want to because you're doing so much at once. So I think it's good to just take one thing at a time, especially when you're doing music and this at the same time. And we were talking about off camera, but since you're not doing corporate life no more, you're full-on entrepreneur.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
You're done with the corporate life. So being that you're full-on entrepreneur, like I know that this is a risk. And for anyone. What are some of the things that motivates you to continue to take this risk as an entrepreneur?
Money.
Finance. Money definitely talks.
The idea of being your own boss. I think what this pandemic has taught me is like at any moment, at any given time, no matter what the circumstances are, you're just a number. You know what I mean? You can be replaced.
Exactly.
You can get sick. Somebody's going to replace you. It doesn't matter. You're not like a big asset to the business.
Exactly.
So I just now felt like, you know what? First and foremost, I never wanted to work for anybody, but to survive, you have to have a job.
You gotta step in.
So I just felt like this was the push that I needed to figure out myself, figure out my goals, and figure out how I'm going to be set financially.
Gotcha.
So, you know, the goal is ultimately to be financially free. So, you know, I always make sure my little circle, so, you know, inspires me to do better, and that they do. So they're another part of why I felt like, let me take this step further.
Yeah, I think it's important to surround yourself with like-minded individuals, because if you're just gonna veer off from what you're trying to do, and that's not gonna be beneficial to no one. So I think it's important to do that. And we talk a little bit of him about the stocks too. How is, you know, you just get into stocks and everything. Everybody, honestly, if y'all watching this, y'all need to get into stocks. Like, I know, learn it, definitely educate yourself on it first. But I mean, it's been the way that other people have been getting money for hundreds of years, and I think it's time for our people to start reaping benefits of that as well. So educate yourself on stocks. I actually just watched an interview Nipsey had from like 3 years.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, he talked about him investing with this company Followcoin out in I think Amsterdam. And this is, you know, passed away in 2019, and this is 4 years ago from now. And it's crazy how he was so at this time like somebody from Compton, gangbanging, changed his whole life around, inspiring people, and is going out to a whole other country to talk about investing into cryptocurrency and putting his people on. And now I'm sure this video has probably gotten a lot more views since cryptocurrency's been surging from Bitcoin.
Yeah, because I've been hearing about it forever. I was just always told to not, you know, invest in that way. Like, you know, leave that alone, go into another area. But, you know, I mean, now it's big and that's good. And I just feel like people need to school each other more, especially in the black community. Like, what way to make money than not in stocks? You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's money you wake up to. Like, I literally woke up to more money in my account because of a stock, you know, because I bought shares into a company. And that's the way to work. I mean, I think 50 said it best: hustle hard or work smart, or something like that. It's
work smart and not hard.
Yeah, work smart and not hard. Exactly. You don't always want to work. It's not always necessary to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs to get that money. If you find a way to get money while you sleep, that's when you start reaping the benefits.
I asked somebody that too. I asked somebody that works 2 jobs, like, why do you work 2 jobs? What is your goal? And it was for them to just be financially free. But I said, why not invest? And they said, well, their response was, if I invest, I'm still going to work regardless. So I'm like, oh, well, you have a worker's mindset, and sometimes you can't help.
Yeah, some people. One of my other homies out here, JD, shout out to him. He said it right. Like, some people are workers, some people are bosses. That's just, not everybody's going to be a boss. Now it's just
and it's not easy, and it's okay for you to not want to do it.
Exactly, but I just feel like it's important for us to give people the tools and the knowledge to potentially be their own boss, but if not, you know, so if you want to be a worker, cool. But if you want to at least stack some money,
do work, do research.
Exactly, because stocks is like having a savings account that's doing more for you, you know, in the back end. So I highly think people should look into stocks, especially in the black community. Even if they're not too knowledgeable about stocks, like Acorns. Like, I tell a lot of people about Acorns. It's like a savings account that you don't really touch.
Took some money from my Acorns account.
But that's when you take money out for that. It's like, I'm using it to probably invest in something else. But that's good. That's some extra money that you didn't even know. Like, you're just not even touching, not even worried about. It's just piling up every single day. It may take some, it may go down a little, but the stock market has never plummeted besides that 2008 crash. But still, for our people in our generation, we'll be fine. We're not in close to retirement, so we don't have to worry about the stock market crashing right away. But let me get off the stocks. I got to talk about this shit forever. But
got you so excited.
Now I'm all into the stocks. But in terms of what I want to talk about next is, I usually like to do a segment over here where I talk about entrepreneur tip of the week. And I noticed that for your music, you're on United Masters. How is that? How now for artists out there who are, you know, any artists, R&B, rap, pop, anything. United Masters is a platform where independent artists can go put their music, and it allows other brands and labels to find their music on there.
Yeah.
Is it better than you would say like a SoundCloud or like just putting your music on like Apple or Spotify?
Well, that's what United Masters does. It puts it on all the streaming sites. It's just like another platform like DistroKid, where other people would put their music on and let it blast to all the streaming sites and put it out. The only difference is, first and foremost, it's founded by Steve Stout, you know, it's a black guy.
Black
so I'm pro-black.
And
And another thing is I like to see where my money is going. You know, on DistroKid, it doesn't really tell you where your music is being played at.
Okay.
You know,
it doesn't break it down for you.
no, it doesn't. So
Okay.
I'm one of those people where I'm so organized and I like things to be organized, and I like to know, okay, who's playing my music the most, because then now you know where your first tour should
Exactly.
take off at,
What
you know.
what you should cater to.
Right. And then you know how much spins you're getting, and you know how much money you're making.
Yeah.
So it's like, in terms of entrepreneurship, if you're an entrepreneur, that's something to definitely tap into, because now you can see where everything is broken down to, and where it's going, and how much work you have to put in to make more money, you know.
That's a fact. And I think, like she said it best. Like I'm not an artist, so I wouldn't know, but for anybody that's looking to stream their music on these platforms and see exactly where your money is going to, and see exactly where your audience is coming from, United Masters is the platform that you want to be, especially, you know, if you're black. It's definitely the platform you want to be. You know, just cause, you know, you want to support black artists.
Right.
And then another thing I want to talk about in terms of, since we're on music and since we're talking about entrepreneurship, the story of the week that's been going on is Jay-Z. Jay-Z, Moet Hennessy acquired 50% ownership stake in Jay-Z's brand Ace of Spades, and Jay-Z retained 50% ownership.
Right, 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50. So as we all seen Jay-Z success from, you know, when he started rapping to now, you know, he's a billionaire. You know, shout out to Jay-Z for putting black people at a high pedestal, to be in these rooms, having these conversations with these corporate people that none of us probably have been able to talk to if it wasn't for someone like him to break down that door. How does that situation resonate with you as an entrepreneur? Like,
well, Jay-Z period is somebody I've been inspired by from day one, first album out. His mindset, how he thinks, how he moves. I actually had the pleasure of actually meeting him and working for him for a day at the Rock Boy video shoot.
That's what's up.
So I kind of manifested that into happening. But ultimately, I just felt like he's doing what he's born to do, or what he knows he wants to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think he again, we don't know what he does on the forefront, but behind the closed doors, I'm sure his biggest thing is, you know, having meetings and breaking bread and making deals and things like that, and investing and reading and studying. And so when you take the time to do these things, it'll get you a lot farther, you know. And one of the biggest things that I always take from him, one, is to always believe in your brand. Never allow anybody else to stir how you feel, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will.
That's it.
And like, another thing is, you know, when you grow, be okay with shedding friends. You know, like, who?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely shedding friends.
Who works hard to stay the same? Like, who works hard to stay the same?
Yeah,
So,
that's true. When you grow,
you gotta keep constantly surrounding yourself, and not that it's like you kissing somebody's ass, excuse my language, or ball hopping, but you're literally rubbing shoulders with somebody who's like-minded, or somebody you can learn from to get you to the next step ahead.
Yeah, especially someone that's come from where we come from.
Right.
We're not from Brooklyn, but from the streets of, you know, New York City, and learning how to really maneuver in not only the streets but in corporate environments, and how to carry yourself. And I think he's a great representation.
Right. I think he's also overlooked too by blacks, you know.
Yeah, because now he's more behind the scenes. Alright, so Jay-Z's definitely been somebody that has definitely put great representation behind black people as the business moves he's been doing. I think there'll be a lot more things he does behind the scenes. Especially, I also read up a deal he has with Jack Dorsey, who's the CEO of Twitter and Square, and he bought like $100-some million in Bitcoin as well. So I think Jay-Z's putting himself around the right people.
And he's now in charge in NFL too, like
performances. Yeah, I forgot about that because of the whole COVID thing, and that shit kind of like got brushed.
Well, he was in charge of putting the weekend on there. We needed some black acts.
That's important. That's important. Yeah, we had Maroon 5, and that was trash. Oh my god. Nothing against Maroon 5. They used to be good, but that Super Bowl performance 2 years ago was trash.
Yeah, a lot of them do a lot of things behind the scenes, and they don't glorify it, which is good, because people be doing different things for, you know, for the look, or to get some sort of homage paid towards them. And it's like, listen, if you want to do it out of the kindness of your heart, do it there and let everything speak for itself.
Exactly. And shout out to Jay-Z, keep pushing the needle forward for the black culture, and we're gonna keep working hard over here. And
which people don't understand.
Yeah, right. A lot of people don't understand. Another person that I like shouting out all the time is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. He has this tequila that a lot of people don't really know about.
Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his.
Yeah.
Okay.
He came out with this tequila probably like beginning of or like end of 2020. And I've had
it's strong too.
Yeah, the Reposado. I would say it's better than Casamigos, but don't quote me on that.
It is. But
yeah,
it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little hit at the end, but I like it a lot, and it's another black owned brand, and I think he's doing.
Is he black?
Yeah, he's Hawaiian. So he cracked the code. So he's loved by everybody because. You look at The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. You don't really take.
You don't say white, but
you don't say. But then you look at him. You see the tan.
He's a minority.
Yeah, exactly. He's a minority. His father was black and Hawaiian, and his mom is Hawaiian. So.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So he trends in line of I don't know what you call it, but he's favored by everyone. So shout out to The Rock for doing great things. Another thing I like to talk about on my show for entrepreneurs is, I know when we were growing up, college was like a main thing. I think was pushed on us through middle school and high school, and I think that the next generation may be a little different for like Gen Z, just because
that was me too.
Oh,
I didn't go to college.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying but people pushed us to go to college and try to push us to go to college. So with that being said, would you, being that you didn't go to college, would you push, your future child or
I wouldn't push them. I would maybe inspire them. It depends on whatever they're trying to pursue, you know. So me being someone that's, of working hard, and I'm a believer of that and letting it pay for itself, or, some people say it's not what you know, sometimes it's who you know. So it just depends on where they're where they're trying to go with their career, and I'm going to always stand by them. I have two sisters. My younger sister, she's actually in UAL. She's in Albany State University.
Got you.
And then my middle sister graduated from Johnson & Wales University. So, I'll always support them for going to school, or my kids if they want to, but it's not necessarily needed.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Just because you have a degree doesn't make you smarter.
Exactly.
You got kids now who graduate and have all of these, thousands of dollars in debt that they have to repay, and they don't even find the job or take up the job that they're pursuing.
That's 100%.
That they went to school for. I'm sorry.
No, that's 100%. I tell her, I ask this question to all my guests just because I think it's something that was pushed amongst our generation heavily, but I don't think it's something that's necessary. When I have children, I wouldn't push them, but as long as they have a plan. It's like, if you're not going to college, what's your plan to work? What is your plan? What is your goals? Just because, like you say, you end up with a lot of debt. I'm one of those people that have ended up in debt.
My sisters too.
Because of college, and I went to school for PR. Not saying that I didn't pay off, but at the same time,
that's actually what I would have went to school for.
I mean,
I ended up taking an internship.
Yeah, internships could guide. My internship gave me more hands-on experience than college did, and I ended up paying way more for college than them internships.
Yeah.
So the only thing I would say college has done for me, which I would never take for granted, network and be amongst other people, and
I feel like college is good for
an experience. Also an experience.
Professions like doctors, lawyers.
Something that requires a certification.
Honestly, they should make cops go to school,
college,
and take a certified test.
Facts.
To where like a bar, just like lawyers, if they do something, it's taken away because I think they get the blurred line, and that's why we are facing police brutality now. They're just getting away with so much opposed to a doctor or a lawyer. They take their job super seriously because they studied so hard to get over that hump, you know?
I believe that's strong as well. I believe the police academy for New York, you only have to go there for 6 months. And you're out on the street. How in the hell do you have people going to be doctors for years on years and lawyers on years. But then you have people who have the authority and the power of holding a gun in
6 months.
In 6 months. logically doesn't make any sense. So I think for a profession like that,
it needs to be carried the same way.
Exactly.
All across the paradigm.
Yeah, because clearly the system that y'all have in place that it's not working.
It's not valued.
And they're not getting any better. They're not teaching them anything different.
It's honestly not taken seriously. Just like when you look at a doctor or somebody walks in the door and they say, yeah, I got a PhD or I'm a doctor. You'd be like, oh, like, stuff. I don't know. You give them a different level of respect. Same with a lawyer. Same with a therapist. So if a cop was to actually go through a training or something psychologically, whatever that they need to learn, and they get the award at the end that says, like, listen, they passed the bar and they worked hard and they got there. It's like, now we can respect them at the level that they want to be respected on. Because cops walk around here like they're God. And it's like, bro,
you went to school for 6 months.
You supposed to protect us.
Right?
Not take my life.
Exactly. I was actually watching, shout out to 50 for Life, that show he
I haven't even seen it yet.
It's a great show. It's about the Isaac Wright Jr. situation. He was incarcerated for a crime he didn't commit. He ended up becoming a lawyer within 9 years, 10 years he was in prison, and ended up getting exonerated and free.
That's something that actually behind the scenes that Jay-Z is actually doing.
Oh yeah, the reform thing with Meek and Robert Kraft, I believe.
Well, Meek, he was doing it prior to they got on it, it was like he was pushing schooling and businesses for them while they're incarcerated, so that they could actually become their own lawyers and not have to pay for a lawyer. They'll be their own lawyer and testify for themselves.
That's I didn't know that. Shout out to Jay-Z again. Like, that's
why I love him. Anybody that's against him, I don't care. I mean, I don't love him like on a sexual level. He's so inspirational. What is to hate about this man?
Yeah, he's only doing right. And people gonna criticize because that's what people do. They're gonna try to find their hate.
Some people that I'm not gonna name their names because they're big now, and they came around the hood and we brought up Jay-Z because it was their first time in New York, and they were like, well, what has Jay-Z done for you? And I had to think about that question because I was like under the influence. I was just hanging out. But the next day I thought about it and I'm like, well, what does Jay-Z owe us? He's done it already, what he owed us, to show us that there's a way. And I feel like black people, everybody don't need to be offended because I'm pro-black, but we sometimes people are too entitled. They feel like, because you became successful, yes please, because you became successful, you need to show the way, like, you know what I mean, like you gotta reveal the book with everything, and it's like, bruh, like, no, work your ass off because it's there. We can't always use racism. They're stopping. Yes, it's there. It's happening, but there's a way around it. There's a way to conduct yourself, and there's a way to fight for it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You don't got to be scared to do what you want to do. If you really, truly want to do something, you really believe it, and you stand on it, follow it, it'll happen. Believe in it, and it'll happen into fruition.
Exactly. Everything is like Great Nip said, everything is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Yes.
You can't expect.
I love Nipsey.
Yeah, Nip is crazy.
That's another one.
One of the idols. But like I said, I think for Life, that show on ABC that 50 Cent is producing, I think it did a pivot. Like, they was really just focused on the Isaac Wright Jr. Well, the guy character's name is Aaron Wallace in the show, and they flipped it because of COVID, and they really focused on the situations that were going on in COVID. Like they had like scenarios of what was actually happening, but they didn't use the same person's name, whatever. So there was a situation where a guy got pulled over, black cop. Dude is in the car with his son, and then a white cop comes into the car, tells him to get out, and ends up shooting him in the back, and for no reason. Okay. And they go to trial, and that's pretty much the whole second half of the show. And they touch on different cases, and like and black women in Paris will touch on Breonna Taylor's case of when
they touched on Breonna.
They didn't say her name, but they talked about the scenario. Like, this woman was in her bedroom and she got killed by the police coming in. So I like how they flipped the script. I don't think they had that script written.
I've noticed a lot of shows actually stemming from, I want to say, the year of 2013 are actually, because there's not all whites are bad.
Oh, no.
And there's a lot of them that are really like trying to make them understand it, you know?
Yeah.
Because again, we're coming into a new generation, and unfortunately the government is still controlled from old school white supremacy. So we're trying to wean them out and get them out, but
I'm still waiting for them people to get charged for the fucking Capitol. So I still ain't hearing nothing about no charges. I'm saying, like, that shit ain't nothing about them people.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
But
like,
if black people was like on some
shit like
I'm gonna
that,
paint my skin white, like they be doing that on some, let me just put that heavy makeup on, let me go to MAC and airbrush real and go crazy, I wouldn't be mad at it. I would not be mad. And don't take this, I don't want to influence anybody. My idea. But I wouldn't be mad at it because it's just they get away with so much murder. And I'm watching so many shows now. My favorite show that I'm watching, which you probably may not like, but I don't want to say that. But it's called The Good Trouble. Okay. And it's about these two young girls who grew up in a lesbian household. So it's catering to the LGBT, which is a thing now. What
platform is it on?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
And one girl, she's entering marketing, which is my thing. She's like a techie.
Gotcha.
And then the sister's entering, she's a lawyer.
Okay.
So it really the show touches on so many things that we go deal with. Like we deal with being a minority in corporate America, dealing with being a woman working in a male-dominated industry, being a guy who's aspiring to be an artist or somebody in art, and how it's harder for a minority to get into that or break into that world. Being a white teacher trying to teach black kids, being a black kid trying to deal with a white teacher. It's so much, you know, black police brutality and just so much. Show? Black Lives Matter, all of that.
Is it a new show or did it it's been around for a while? It's been
around for a couple of years. The newest season has launched, I think, a few weeks ago. But I don't even know how I got put on to. I think I was just scrolling on the board and I was like, let me just see The Good Trouble. Because I like to get in a little trouble. So I was like, let me see. And then I was like, oh, I love this. I could relate to it because I worked in corporate America, and white girls and black women weren't it was like I favorite white girls over my own black women in corporate America. It's kind of sad to say because I feel like although we're all women walking into a room and, you know, having to have a pitch or whatever, it's like the white girls were open to being on your team versus the black girl. And if the black girl was on your team, or I could just speak from my personal situation, she was just like trying to use me or trying to figure out what way she could take me down instead of being on my same team.
I see what you're saying.
So
that's a problem amongst, I think, black and minority.
Yeah, it's like, why do we need to compete?
Why can't we all just come together?
Girl, and I'm one of those that I don't compete with other black women. If I feel like your crown is tilted, I'm going to push your crown up so you could feel like that girl. Like, you know, so. And
I like that about everything that you do, from your music to your lip gloss brand. You're all about empowering women. So elaborate on that. How did you start? I know Mary J. Blige is a big influence on the music side, but what got you into the empowering of women? What made you want to push that as your focus?
Say the Spice Girls. Well, I honestly looked up different entrepreneurs. I would say her name is, I can't even is Erica Davis. I think is Erica Davis. I might be messing up her name wrong, but she's like one of the head CEOs or right under Diddy. Like she hosts like all his like liquor companies and deals with his PR, and I might be messing up a few things.
She does everything behind the scenes.
Yeah, she does everything behind the scenes. I think it's Erica Payne. I don't know. I will have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Is a couple of people, Angela Davis. What I'm pro for, I love to. There's no need for anybody to compete with each other. Like especially when it comes to relationships. Like if somebody left you and went with somebody else that you feel like looks better or whatever, I want to stop all of that.
Gotcha.
Because it's all about the connection at the end of the day, first and foremost. So if anybody leaves you, it's because it wasn't the right compatibility.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that person wanted to work it out and figure it out, that's that, you know? So we should not be just looking at people's looks and, you know, damping ourselves down and saying, oh, we're not that bad, you know, we're not that good, because social media is really portraying off that.
Yeah.
You got girls getting their bodies done because they feel a little insecure with themselves. So, you know, and there's girls that also look at it and they feel like, damn, I don't look as good as this girl. I need to figure it out. It's like, no, girl, you're fine.
Exactly,
You just,
exactly.
it's you're human.
That's what it is, yep.
It's beauty is such a crazy thing. Like, it's just a world where it just will drive you crazy if you get too caught up in it.
Especially in the social media world. Like, I noticed, I was watching The Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix about what social media has done to society since it's come about. And for women specifically, suicide rate has shot up since like
Of course.
Since like 2012, since
Of course.
Instagram and all these platforms really started to flourish. So to see that statistic and see where things are trending, I think it's important that people like yourself and other women empower each other, because
there were times, not to cut you off, there were times where I had to literally delete Instagram for like 2 weeks, and people would, you know, people in my inner corners would be like, why would you do that? You need to do that for music purposes. And I'm like, nah, I need a break.
Yeah,
I need
like,
a break.
It's okay to take a break
you
from
know,
social media.
because
Like,
it's consuming.
Yeah, you'll be on that shit like, you know what I'm saying? You'll get obsessed on likes and
a look
comments
and a
and all that.
trend and a anything that's negative. And it's just like, for women, we have to learn to love ourselves. Self-love is the best love, and that is it. And, you know, stemming from things like that, and it's just like, black women in itself, we have to protect our own, because we're not protected often. So I feel like we have to be empowered to do that.
Yeah.
You know, while we are our own biggest bullies. You know, you don't got men. You have men, but then women, forget it. They'll want to jump you, fight you, pull your hair out.
My
we
mom
so mean.
my mom always told me it's nothing worse than a catty woman. Like, girls are cats.
Oh my
like,
God.
They think you think their best friend, smile in your face, and then
Sleep
behind
with
your
your
back,
man, steal your money, hide your kids, hide your wives, hide everybody, because they coming for it. And it's no need. When women are together, we can actually build a whole empire. You know, we're so much smarter. You know, when we build our, you know, men our heads together, we're so much greater in that aspect. And I feel like I wish all women were like that. And instead of, you know, because a person disagrees with you, just tear it down. It's like, it's okay to agree to disagree.
Yeah, that's
the love of it.
Debating.
Like, you
that's
know,
where you could have a
healthy debate. Because sometimes you might learn something like, oh shoot, I wasn't even thinking in that perspective.
Exactly.
Let me now think in that way. You know,
let me do some research and see what her perspective is. I think that's what it all comes from. I think everyone's being blasted in front of their faces and really have a conversation amongst each other and stuff.
It gets confusing though, because men tend to.
Yeah.
We get together.
Men ain't no. I mean, men.
What the hell is Lori Harvey? What is she doing? And it's like, what she's doing is totally.
She's living her best life.
fine.
You know what I'm saying? Because Future, on the other hand, he do the same thing Lori Harvey.
He does, and I'm over that double standard.
He jumped from woman to woman, just, you know. So
he has babies. He jumps from woman to woman and has babies.
Yo,
Lori Harvey is just skimming through the cracks. She's just weaving through.
Yeah, and I think she's making it acceptable for women to do that, and that's okay,
and
because men have been doing that for years, generations.
Decades.
You know,
and
she's
women
the first
have
one to do it.
you know, they would get with somebody and just settle, and it's like, well, sis, are you really happy? Are you really happy? I mean, I know he beats you, but are you really happy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have to settle for half of the green flags. You know, it's like a red flag is a red flag. If the red flag is not aligning with you, girl, get the hell out of there and find it. It's out there. You know.
And I just think overall communication is big when it comes to
tell it to your male species.
For my men out there, yo, I know, you know what I'm saying, communication is big. if you don't communicate with your lady or whoever you're dealing with at the time, it just messes up everyone's intentions. And, just if you communicate, you don't want to be in a relationship, you just want to have fun from the jump. That's what it is. But you always make sure communication is there, so that way there's no
disagreements.
Yeah, no disagreements when things come up
in the future.
Yeah, right? So that things are said, and just keep reiterating. What you reiterate through communication, what you're looking for, and what you plan on for you and that person.
Right.
But we jumped on relationship. Wow, see. But empower women. Keep doing what you're doing for that. I think it's important for you to do that, and I think other women do it as well.
It's necessary.
Very necessary.
Especially if you're raising daughters.
Oh yeah. Shit, I don't got no kids yet, but if I have a daughter, them times are gonna be rough. But yeah.
I'm manifesting. Listen, I'm at the baby shower and the wedding, okay?
Taking our time on this side. But another thing I like to do for my entrepreneurs is, one thing I read about all entrepreneurs have is 5 skills that really solidifies an entrepreneur. They are research, focus, cash management, communication, and learning. Out of those 5 skills, what would you say is your strongest skill, and what is your weakest skill? So I'll repeat them again because I know.
Yeah, because I was like...
So you got research, you got focus, cash management, communication, and learning.
Communication and learning are my strongest.
I would say that from knowing you, I believe that.
Communication is 100%. Like, because I'm going to tell you what I want, how I want it. I research my ass off on
and that's a Capricorn mentality.
Yeah. How you know? You Capricorn?
No, I just know I've dealt with Capricorns before, and I know they're very assertive. This is what it is. They're not veering off from it. That's just what it is. I respect it. That's just knowing what you want.
Yeah, my weaknesses is everything else that I didn't mention, and I'm working on it.
Well,
it's hard to be focused sometimes because
I think that's
I've learned to take breaks. It's necessary to
especially as an entrepreneur, it's good to that meditation is important.
Yeah, meditation is very important. And when you start and you begin, it'll feel crappy and it'll feel like, what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
But meditation is needed. Once you get the hang of it, you'll start to feel like it's like a whoosh come over you.
Yeah.
When somebody's arguing, you'll be at peace. I remember when I did meet Jay-Z and the Rock Boy video shoot was literally a meeting. The whole video shoot was a meeting. And this was before 4040 got redone over. It was the old school layout.
Gotcha.
And we were at the back, at the big suite at the back. It was a pool table room and all that. And then it was one room and a cut. And he was just the bouncer. I don't know if Mariah Carey or somebody big left the door. I was there because I had to dress the extras in the video.
Got you.
And the door swung open and Jay-Z was there. And it was open for a minute. And he was just there first of all, I was scared because when he stares, he makes these mean ass girls. He wait a minute. What's going on? But he was literally thinking and observing, and I don't know if it was meditation, but he was capturing himself. Even throughout the video, when I asked him for a picture and got turned down, he was literally, everybody Hype Williams and everybody was focused, we gotta get this, let's get this edit, and Jay-Z was walking through the hallway and in his mind and making sure that everything was together. And I feel as a person, if you don't know who you are, or if you're not together, or if you don't have the picture of what you want things to be, it's you'll get lost in everybody else's source.
So that's why you got to sometimes lock in and focus on your goals, you know, and that's what I think a lot of
it's tunnel visions.
It's like a horse when they got the blinders, they just looking straight. You know what I'm saying? They can't see anything in their peripheral. They just go into that.
Right. It's hard.
It is hard. It's a lot of distractions.
You're really passionate about, it is necessary. It's so necessary. I think that's probably why right now I'm at the age where I'm single. And
I need to holler at Candace.
No.
She's a great woman. You know what I'm saying?
I'm single. No.
No fuckboys.
Yeah,
that's what she asked.
I'm not agreeing with you. None of that though. No sex. None of that. And I feel it's helped me a lot more than before. Because, you know, occasionally I would have a boo or somebody I was talking to or dating. But to be like of nothing at this age that I'm at and to be like focused, it's like a different view. Like you feel different. You look at things differently. It's like everything is different. You value yourself a whole lot more
because you're only focusing on yourself at that time.
On yourself,
yeah, and you can really
I be looking at yourself. I let my friends vent to me, and my friends be telling me some shit, and I just be like, "You really let that slide?"
I ain't trying to go back to that shit.
Like, I can't believe.
No, I feel it.
You know, and I'm like, hell no. Me.
Nah, I respect it. I mean, I was the same way. Like, I was single for like 6 years before my relationship now, and it's because
I love that,
focus
though. Can
on
I
myself.
say that? I love that. I love you guys' relationship.
Appreciate it.
Hopefully, you know, if I meet somebody that got it together.
Now, there's some good brothers out there. You just gotta find them.
No, I'm playing. I'm really good. I'm really
good brothers. I gotta holler at Candace, man. She focused though. If you don't fuck up her craft, don't do it.
Yeah,
but if you're on the same type of time, then you know maybe approach her. You know what I mean? That's for real. But nah, that's great. So alright, so we're gonna say focus. I'm the same way. Focus is like I feel like I procrastinate sometimes. And even when I read I'm reading this book on my table right now called Kobe Bryant, The Mamba Mentality. It's really correlates to basketball, but in life though, it talks about how he brings basketball lessons to life. Like he talks about, all right, he'll go to the gym for 2 hours, grind hard, they'll go home for an hour, relax, you know, chill, then get back to the gym for 2 hours. And if you take little breaks in between the day, get back and forth, you can be very successful. He was waking up at like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning, shooting around, go back to the house, shower, eat with his kids, and get back to the gym. Go, you know,
that's talk about busy.
Yeah, that's dedication and passion for your craft. So having that mindset is like, all right. That's what I try. Yeah, rest in peace to GOAT. You know, that's my favorite basketball player growing up. But yeah, like him having that mentality is staying focused on like, all right, I know what I want and I know what I have to do. I'm gonna have to make some sacrifices, which is spending less time on my family.
That's the biggest. Oh my God! Shout out to my producer, CJ the Great.
Oh yeah,
if he ever sees this,
got you.
He is one of my biggest influencers because he literally, we would have talks. We wouldn't even have a studio session, and he'll call me over after he had like a major big meeting because he does a lot. He's not big on social media, but he does a lot behind the scenes. Like he worked on BET Tales.
That's like the Black Godfather. You don't know, you sure heard about him. He's just behind the scenes. Nobody know about him.
He produced a lot of records, and I don't be liking to share him because people be just. You know, hitting me like, who you work with? And I'm like, But he's great. And when I do meet with him, he like questioned me. He's like poking the bear. He's like, well, what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to do? What did you not change? What did you do? Like, and I'm like, damn, what the, like, I'm not good at, like, I didn't do it yet. He's like, no, you got to go harder, you know?
And it's good to have people like that in your life.
Sometimes you need that.
Yeah, because that's just giving you a kick in the ass, like, all right, let me get my shit together.
Yeah, and I'll be like, damn, I got to lose 10 more pounds. But he's like, I'm still talking.
Yo, we're going to get you a personal trainer. Like, I know a couple persons.
Listen, I have them, but I just be like, girl, I'm out 2 months. I'm out. You're not going to be kicking my ass.
Well, we got Summer 21 around the corner, so I'm sure you're going to be putting in the work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And more music coming your way.
About to drop an EP soon.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Touching down soon.
So, in terms of, like, with a busy schedule like yours, what do you do for fun? What does fun look like for you?
I love linking with my girls. I love watching a good show. It's more about energy. It really doesn't matter what I'm doing. It's the energy. If the energy is positive and it's cool and it's flowing, I'm for it. If the energy is negative, like gossip or drama, you won't catch me there.
Cancel me. Yeah,
you won't catch me.
There.
As a matter of fact, I'm rarely outside as it is, but anything that I'm doing, it has to be beneficial to my energy and to my spirit and to what I'm doing in my life.
Got it. I like to leave my entrepreneurs like to leave my viewers with some good advice. So what advice would you give to other entrepreneurs out there who are women who are, you know, trying to start their own business or take the singing and songwriting direction?
I would say first and foremost, believe in yourself. Don't listen to what anybody else has to say about you. You know, if you feel it in your heart, then 9 times out of 10, God had put it there for a reason. And
like that's another gem. We always get gems on this show. I love it. For real, we always get some great gems.
And do the research, and put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. I mean, I'm learning that as well, especially with the way social media is. It's the new platform, so it's like just put it out there. Whatever you believe, you can achieve.
That's a fact. No, that's a real statement, and I hope that all listeners take that for real, because if you believe in yourself, anything can happen. All it takes is a year of hard work.
It'll
and
manifest.
dedication.
The law of attraction. Everything will align.
That's
Read the book, The Alchemist.
Alchemist. Oh, I read that book too. That's one of my.
Book.
Yeah, he went on a journey. Treasure goes. Yeah, that's a great book. If you haven't read that, check it out. It's a lot of life lessons in that book. And then also, how can people support Candace? How can people continue
streaming my music on whatever streaming music site you listen to, or Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. Follow me on Instagram at Candace Mackey. And follow me on Twitter at Candace _ Mackey.
So this is the killer. Tell me it's the killer history right here.
But definitely be in tune. Tap in with me on Instagram. And
what's your business, Candace?
My lip gloss is Candy Smacks.
Candy Smacks.
Candy Smacks.
Follow that on IG as well. Get your poppin' lip gloss.
Get your lip gloss, ladies, because it's juicy.
Definitely. People continue to support great entrepreneurs. Continue to support Candace. Candace, I appreciate you coming out to Brooklyn to doing this podcast with me. Continue to support entrepreneurs, y'all. I guarantee you, one of these entrepreneurs y'all will see doing great things in the near future. I'm gonna continue doing what I do, bring y'all great guests. Appreciate y'all, and I appreciate Candace. Check out next week.